And today, as we stand here, I'm telling you now that healing is the essential path. And we all treat it like it's an option. It's not an option to overcome 20 years of depression. It's not an option to beat your addictions and your alcoholism. It's not an option to live a half-lived life. And this is why we call this the essential path. It's a path of transformation, and you need to walk along it. You need to go through it. And this is the part where we get lost. We think it's just a choice. I'm stuck. I had trauma as a child, and now I can't get out of it. I'm traumatized, and I traumatize people. But we need to take that essential journey and cross over into healing and transformation. Because that's the way everything works. You know, it's not just the way you work, it's the way the world works. And today, with all the information that we have, we've got people just believing that they need to cope, that they need to take their medication and cope. And that's what most people have filled in as wanting to be able to do on their questionnaire. You don't cope with depression and trauma. You overcome it. You learn from it. You grow from it eventually. The Sufis used to say, nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And the time when you live 80, 90, 100 years is always now. It's always now, and you can have a better life. You can heal your life. The 4 agreements, the 12 steps, A Course in Miracles, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita. Follow something, learn mindfulness, yoga, but don't sit with the core belief that you're going to cope better. No. You don't conform, you transform. Do not be conformed to this world, but you will be transformed. You will be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And the renewal of your mind from back to front is almost too simple to teach. It's almost too simple. That's what the drugs are doing. That's what the chemicals are doing. You take your medication, it's moving left to right, back to front, trying to get change to happen. Not only do we not change, we're resistant to change. We don't like change. Change, uncertainty is very scary. But at some point, it's worth it. It needs to be done. We need to grow. Why? How do we know? Because everything else is growing. The blue marble that we are on is growing. The universe itself is expanding and growing. Trees are growing. Kids are growing. Have you stopped? You don't grow physically. You grow psychologically and emotionally and spiritually now. And that is how you overcome suffering, which is necessary. It's suffering is the necessary catalyst to get you from A to B, even though you have to just walk it, which we are all doing. We are all walking it, even though you think you might be stuck, which is a brain disease in itself. Addiction is stuckness. It's a brain disease. You've got to get your thinking out of the gutter and move it to your prefrontal. That's it. So what we need to do is understand what we're believing. Where are our memories taking us, and how much of those memories, 10, 20, 30 years old, are guiding your life today? Because it's either memories guiding your life and you're depressed and you're stuck and you can become a victim, or you can become bitter and hardened by the struggles of trauma in this life. Or you can be attacked by a wild imagination. I'm too traumatized to cross the street. A wild imagination. Look what's going to happen. What could happen? I don't want to be hurt again. It's absolutist. We cannot have one without the other. We cannot have happiness without some hurt getting there. We cannot have good without bad. You see, when we numb the bad feelings, when we try and numb them, we stay stuck. We get depressed. We cannot move forward unless we realize, become aware that we are stuck in the first place. And when you realize, make sure you believe the right story. Because the story is transformation, not coping. Not coping, not same. The world is just like you. It is impermanent. It is not going to stay the same, and neither are you. So don't stay stuck. You can heal your life. It doesn't matter if you've been told that you cannot do it, and then you tell yourself that every day. It's a story. It's a dialogue. It's a construct. And it's got to go. You see, it's an essential part of life for the world and for yourself and for everyone else in it. If we don't get this world right in the next 50 years, what's going to happen? If we don't start believing a new story for this world and actually doing something about the 200 people who die every hour from hunger, while the world pretends it's not happening, while the world stays depressed and anxious and traumatized. It is an essential healing and transformation that you need to do. Because when you transform yourself, you transform the world. 80% of the world are dancers. 80-20 principle. 80% of the world might be bad, might be asleep, might be selfish, cruel, hard, bitter. 80%. And it only takes 20% of people to be awakened, conscious enough to understand that life is about caring, about giving, not receiving, about contributing, not just taking. The 80-20 principle, 20% of us get enough consciousness together, the planet changes. 80% of the world are dancers. 80% of the world just follow. Look at the world wars, look at the leaders, look at the history. The evidence is there, the science is there. But it takes you to lead. It takes you to stand up. And people are so fragile. Our mental health is so fragile. Our emotions are so fragile. But we are incredibly courageous. As a species, what we go through, the nightmares we think up. So many nightmares that we can't cross the street. But the courage that is in there for each and every one of us to overcome and transform is part of the deal. It's there, it's in you already. And all you have to do is access it, but not with the same thinking that got you here. You see, your best thinking in the world, your best thinking got you here to this point that you are at right now. And that's humbling in itself. If you've got troubles, if you've got issues today, it's you, it's your thinking. It got you here. And it was your best thinking. I could have done a little bit better. If this, that, then. Those are all trauma responses again. No. It's time to own up, grow up, show up, and change yourself and then the world. Because here it comes, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, including the reflection in the mirror. Is the world a good or bad place? I know that you'll be tempted to answer from your imagination or your memory. What did you read in the newspaper? What did you read? Bad news? Do you believe it? Are you led to believe a lie? While your soul sleeps in beams of light. While you read it through your eye, looking at things in just the physiological. Is that a bad place? No. Are you a bad person? Are they a bad person? You might be good. I'm sure they are bad, these people that are running the world. No. You got to relook at it. Denial and projection are the reasons for every single war that we've had. It's the reason for all the conflict in the world. And acceptance of otherness is the answer to the dichotomous thinking that we do on a daily basis. My mother, brother, father, sister, other is bad. It's not me. You might be lying on the couch, numb, depressed, alone, afraid, thinking that the world's a terrible place. Come on. Nah. This is an amusement park. If we dive into the oceans, it's an aquarium. The color, the splendor. So, no. Look at what you see. And this is where the act of contemplation and the practice of it starts to really come in. You rethink. You take another long, loving look at what really is. Is it bad? Have another look. God said He made the world and it was good. Has it changed? No. Has what you believe changed? Yes, for sure. So if you're suffering today, you're suffering your beliefs. You're suffering your imagination. So drop it. Drop the story. Who are you without your story? You can drop it. Can you drop a personality? Many people think, no, I've seen it happen millions of times. Persona, it's a mask. Anything that's not real has to go. Anything that's not real. We start making the world black with carbon. It's not working. It's not real. It's not supposed to be that way. Carbon's got to go. Selfishness, greed, gluttony. People dying, 200 a day. Who's going to work on Monday to work on saving those 200 people from starvation? Amazon? Apple? You? Nah. Maybe we believe that world hunger and love and kindness and growth are other people's problems and duties. Maybe we really think that, but it's yours. It's your duty and my duty to grow and contribute. Now that is written everywhere. Everywhere. What is the key to life? Growth, contribution. You might be tempted to say, why? I'm going to end up dead. It's not going to make any difference. Let me take pleasure. Take. But is that what the world's doing? The world that has given you your one and only shot. It's just giving. And that's real. It's real because it's never changed. It's still giving 14.7 billion years later. So all you need to do is give. All you need to do is be the same. Realize that your neighbor's the same. Love thy neighbor. Don't kill them. We're all the same. The projection, the blaming and the denial is the sickness. And when you get rid of it, you start to heal your life.